Welcome to today's webinar. As I say, I'm so sorry for the delay in starting. We're absolutely delighted to be hosting today's webinar, which will hopefully leave you all feeling inspired and excited to either start your own Nursing Now Challenge programme or take part in one. We are absolutely delighted to be joined by Marie Kilduff and hopefully soon Dr. Rhoda Radullah, as well as a whole plethora of nurses and midwives from around the world who will be sharing their experiences of the Nursing Now Challenge network and various Nursing Now Challenge programmes that they've been taking part in. So without further ado, I'm going to hand over to Marie, who's going to talk to you a little bit about her programme and what they've been doing in Ireland. So thank you and welcome, Marie.
Thank you, Hannah. Are you going to share the slides?
Andrea should have them. Yeah,
perfect. Thank you. And Andrea, I'll just say to move on to the next one when I'm ready, if that's okay. So thank you so much to Hannah, Lisa and Andrea for inviting me here to present today. And I'm delighted to be joined by so many people around the world who are part of the Nursing Now Challenge. And I particularly would like to say hello to Clements, who's also one of our participants and will be presenting later. So I'm the director of the National Clinical Leadership Centre for Nursing and Midwifery in Ireland. And since 2019, we've been working in collaboration with the Chief Nursing Office, the Department of Health, to actually engage in the Nursing Now Challenge. So we accepted the challenge back then, and we've run through 2 programs since then. So it's a wonderful opportunity for us to work together. And I'd just like to acknowledge our own Chief Nursing Officer, Rachel Kenna, and her team, particularly Michelle Quinn, who's leading on the programme. And I think Michelle has come in to chat there, so it's lovely to hear from you today, Michelle. And also my own team in terms of the work they do in the programme, but particularly Anne Gilmartin, who's on this webinar as well and leads on the programme. So just the next slide there, Andrea, please. So in terms of the Nightingale Program, I'm just going to give a little bit of the background. So as I said, in 2019, the Nursing Now Challenge was sent out and we were delighted to accept it in Ireland. So we started with our first 20 participants and we have now had 2 programs since then. Our first programme was a little bit stop-start. As you can imagine, the pandemic happened in March 2020. And unfortunately, we actually did not finish that programme until October 2021. But I have to say, in fairness to all of the participants on the programme, they were absolutely wonderful and so resilient and never ever complained when we had to cancel programme days. And they were delighted to graduate in October 2021. In terms of our application process, so as I said, it's a joint initiative between ourselves and our colleagues in the Chief Nursing Office. We have so many applications when we advertise this programme. We had over 200, I remember the first year, so it's extremely difficult to actually narrow that down to 20 participants. But obviously we go with the eligibility criteria of the Nursing Now initiative and we choose people in the first 10 years of their career. But in Ireland, we also are very keen in the Leadership Centre, and what we do, we're very, very keen on ensuring that we have representation from all different disciplines of nursing in terms of intellectual disability, mental health, children's, etc. And we have our midwifery colleagues as well. So that's how we select our participants. In terms of our programme design and delivery, it is a 7-day programme with 2 full days and 5 half days. We do 5 days virtually, and that really suits our participants because they're from all over Ireland, and we have 2 face-to-face days as part of the programme. We have our own teams presenting from the CNO office and our own team in the Leadership Centre. So they obviously have an awful lot of expertise in terms of leadership development and are an asset to the programme. But we also have key experts from areas in healthcare in Ireland who come on and present to our participants. And we consistently evaluate the programme. So Andrea, if it's okay, I'll just move on to the next slide. In terms of our programme content, obviously, this was slightly different and we build on the programme each year. So we're very much informed by what's happening with national policy in Ireland, the changes that were happening. We're in the middle of a reform process, moving to integration. So that very much informs our programme and obviously what's happening. So we did have to consider the pandemic in the last 2 years and that impact that has had on our leaders going forward. So these are the headings that we use: introduction to clinical leadership, self-awareness, which is obviously the foundation of clinical leadership, quality improvement, which we're consistently striving to do. The move towards digital leadership is a key component. The advocacy for nurses and midwives for themselves, their professions, and the patients and service users that they care for. Decision-making, communication is absolutely key. Change management, and I think that's definitely needed at the moment, the amount of change everybody's going through and has gone through. Self-care is absolutely fundamental, and we consistently ensure that we underpin everything we do with ensuring that our participants are consistently cognizant of the need to be caring for themselves, as it's been a really difficult time, but with the profession we've all chosen, we do need to care for ourselves. So we'll just move on to the next slide, if that's okay. So the additional programme components, in addition to our 7 days, we offer all of our participants mentoring, and I just like to acknowledge our mentors who very much give of their time. And the way in which mentoring works, it's really our more senior leaders who offer their expertise and guidance to our programme participants. So each programme participant is matched with a mentor that we believe and they would like to have, that would actually inform their career direction, professionalism and leadership. And there's 4 sessions and that runs over the course of 6 to 12 months. It works really, really well, and the feedback from mentoring is absolutely fantastic. It's a great opportunity, and I think a lot of our feedback on our evaluations, the participants do really value this opportunity, and it really helps them to actually ground themselves in their own practice and professionalism where they're going into the future. I'm just seeing a note coming in there that it can't be heard. Hannah, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, can hear you absolutely fine.
Perfect. So maybe it's just the person just adjust their microphone, their audio. And we also offer shadowing opportunities, and we really do this discipline specific. So we would have national leads in intellectual disability, in midwifery, etc., in the health service executive in Ireland. So we would set up opportunities, and it's Anne and Michelle that do this really, for our participants to shadow some of these leads. And it's a wonderful opportunity for them to see what's happening from a national perspective. But we would also encourage our participants to shadow some of the more senior leaders. And I have to say, we're really, really blessed in Ireland, because the senior leaders in terms of assistant directors in nursing and directors of nursing and midwifery and assistant directors of midwifery, they're really, really obliging, and they have no problem supporting our participants and shadowing them for a day or two. So it's really good. There's also wonderful networking and collaboration opportunities. We do push our participants outside their comfort zone. And whilst that is difficult, many of them have come back to say they really appreciated it. So any opportunity that comes up in terms of webinars, conferences, or any opportunity to sit on a group where their expertise is required or their experience, we do encourage them to participate. And all of them have done that over the course of their programme. There's just some pictures here as well. We also bring our participants to the Health Service Executive in Ireland, which is the operational side of where nursing and midwifery sits. And we also bring them in with to meet the team in the Chief Nursing Office as well. So there's just pictures from that and pictures of our participants participating in a webinar. So I'll just go on to the next slide, Andrea, if that's okay. So this is just some of the participant feedback from the last 2-3 years. So this is an excellent opportunity. I would encourage anyone I meet to apply for the course, as it would really allow them to advance in their chosen career pathway. And just from our first programme, of the 20 participants who engaged in it, 18 of them were promoted during the course or after the course. Now, having said that, some people wish to stay as a staff nurse, a staff midwife, but what we're trying to do is to make them be the best that they can be in their journey as a staff nurse and midwife. That's what they chose to stay with. Mentoring has been a tremendous help in guiding me through setting goals and planning my career. Just the next slide, please, Andrea. It was a very inspiring and insightful experience, which made me reflect on the nursing profession, the organisation I am working with, and my own career. I feel it enabled me to grow wings and gain confidence. And I think that's really, that particular quote really speaks volumes for us, because that's what we want to do. Everyone who works on this programme, from the 2 offices, the CNO office, the ONMSD, which is the nursing midwifery section of the Health Service Executive, that's what we're striving to do, to grow future leaders, to promote them, to support them, and to really give them the confidence to believe in themselves so they can be their best selves. And I think all of the people who facilitate them, mentor them, that's what we really wish to do. So just the final slide now, and I'm very conscious I'm rushing, but I know I've only got 10 minutes. So our future plans, we are absolutely and utterly delighted that we took the challenge back in 2019. And I know I speak for my colleagues in the CNO office and for my own team and for my director, Dr. Geraldine Shaw, when we say we just really believe in this program, and we really believe that it provides wonderful opportunities to really embrace leadership and to grow our future leaders. We wish to build collaborations with the global Nightingale Challenge Network, and we're delighted that Lisa is actually going to be coming to the graduation in February, presenting on the opportunities that are available in the Nightingale Challenge in Nursing Now office. And it was only recently that my team and myself and Michelle were speaking to Hannah and Andrea, and we were absolutely in awe of what's available to all of you during your programme and afterwards. So I think that's definitely opportunities we should be absolutely embracing. And we wish to support scholars to engage in Nursing Now opportunities going forward. So I'm delighted to have Clements here, who's going to be speaking in a little while, because she is one of our participants and she can speak about her lived experience. So thank you so much for listening to me. If anyone has any questions, I'm very happy to take them during the webinar.
Thank you so much, Marie. That was amazing. And oh my goodness, what you've achieved in the last few years is just incredible. And the ongoing support you provide to your nurses and midwives is astounding. And we're absolutely thrilled to have you part of the Nursing Now Challenge Network and here today. So thank you so much. As Marie said, we'll be hearing from Clements a bit later, along with a whole host of other nurses and midwives who are part of the Nursing Now Challenge Network. But before we hear from them and about their experiences, I'm delighted to hand over to Dr. Rhoda Radula. Rhoda is a long friend of the Nursing Now Challenge and the director of Nursing Excellence and Magnet Recognition Program at New York Presbyterian. So thank you, Rhoda, for being here today to talk about your project. Over to you.
Hello, everyone. Greetings from New York City. Thank you, Hannah, Andrea, and I know that Professor Lisa Bailey-Spratt just joined us as well. Thank you so much for having me. And truly, New York Presbyterian is a friend of Nursing Now. And we have been a part of Nursing Now since 2019. And I will just start by sharing with you how I first heard about the program, and before it was known as the Nightingale Challenge. In May 2019, I spoke at a conference in England, in Liverpool, England. It was the World Health Organization Public Health England conference in 2019. And that's where I first heard of the Nightingale Challenge, when the World Health Organization leaders and leaders at Public Health England shared about the opportunity to be part of Nightingale Challenge, which was to be a part of the celebration, of the global celebration of the Year of the Nurse. So when I came back to New York City, that was in May, I actually came back to our Magnet Designation celebration. That was, at that time, I had oversight of one of our campuses, which is New York Presbyterian Weill Cornell. I now have oversight of Magnet Designation for our enterprise for all of the 11 campuses. But in 2019, I was really committed to then having us part of then Nightingale Challenge. So right after our designation, one of the first things that I had asked our chief nursing officer at that time, who is Dr. Roseanne Razzo, was I wanted us to be to apply for Nightingale Challenge. And I had shared that as well with my colleagues, and two of our other campuses became involved. We know that it was New York Presbyterian Morgan Stanley Children's Hospital also joined, and also New York Presbyterian Brooklyn Methodist Hospital. And just this year, we have expanded that membership to the entire enterprise. So I come to you today representing our journey as an 11 campus enterprise or system as part of Nursing Now Challenge. And I am just excited to have two of our early career nurses here join us, and that you will be hearing straight from them today, who can speak to you about their experiences as part of the Nursing Now program through our nurse residency and fellowship programs. And I will just share with you quickly. I have a very few slides and we can on. So as I have shared with you, our involvement is as part of an 11 campus academic medical center. New York Presbyterian is a renowned top academic medical center located in New York City, and it is a leading academic medical center in the United States. We have 11 campuses with 2 of our largest campuses affiliated with our 2 medical schools, which are Ivy League medical schools, while Cornell Medical College and Columbia University Medical Center. So we have the rest of them here. You can see our campuses from across the system. And one of the presenters later in the panel is actually from our New York Presbyterian Westchester campus. We are 11,000 nurses strong in the entire New York Presbyterian. And we are really proud of the professional practice and how we are contributing to the advancement of nursing knowledge and practice for not only for the country, but globally. So as part of our involvement in Nursing Now Challenge, we have our leadership development programs that are aligned to to the mission and vision of Nursing Now. But before I go to that, I wanted to share with you that the majority of our campuses, our hospitals, are magnet designated. So we have 7 of our 11 campuses that are magnet designated, and 2 of our campuses that are in the journey, and also the rest of the 2 of our campuses are in the pre-intent stage for magnet recognition. And when I say magnet, and some of you may remember, I have presented on magnet just a few weeks ago, and also in other webinars where I've been part of Nursing Now. Magnet is the gold standard of nursing excellence. And it is really a model, as you can see here in the framework, that it is a model that drives us to really pursue the highest possible the best possible care and the best outcomes, not only for our patients, but for our teams, including, of course, our nurses. And as you can see here on the screen, you will see that in the middle are those empirical outcomes, which we all aim to achieve for our patients. And it has 4 domains: transformational leadership, and that is where one of the elements of early career nurses and mentoring is directly aligned with in terms of leadership development. Having transformational leaders who are able to advocate for the support of nurses and who are able to develop and design leadership programs that support the development of nurses. And the next here on the green dot is structural empowerment, and really a huge part of that is professional development of nurses, the advancement of nurses and elevating the status of nurses through educational programs, training, and being involved in shared governance, and not only committees within the hospital, but externally through community outreach. And this next domain here is exemplary professional practice, which captures a lot of our quality and patient safety outcomes that we are aiming for our patients. And lastly, new knowledge, innovations, and improvement, which again aligns all our work in research, evidence-based practice, technology, and innovation. And why I share this is that we are all, as an organization and as a magnet designated organization, we are focused and committed towards the development of every nurse at NYP. And with that, I will move on to share with you some of our leadership development programs, which you will hear more about, and you will see and hear the experiences of our fellows, and one of our fellows and one of our residents in the program. So we have nurse fellowship programs. in some campuses, we have quality improvement fellows where there is partnership with the hospital and the medical school. We actually have our nurses partnering with physicians in quality improvement and performance improvement projects such as falls reduction or improvement of length of stay, and a lot of collaborative projects that really improve the care of our patients. We also have the Chief Nurse Fellows program in one of our campuses, that's specifically Wild Renal Medical Center, where our nurses are able to pursue an innovative, a practice innovation project or a quality improvement project. And this is sponsored directly by the chief nurse of the campus, where our nurses are given time to be given the time, the support, and the mentorship to pursue the project where they want to pursue. So it could range, again, it could range from any quality and patient safety themed project. And we also have our academic practice partnership fellows, which is really focused on developing the research capacity and research expertise of our nurses. This is done in partnership with the Columbia University School of Nursing. And over the past several years, which these fellowship programs have been offered, and the time that we have been part of Nursing Now, there's around almost 100 fellows that have gone through these development programs. And they have truly contributed to advancing not only practice, but really having tangible outcomes, measurable outcomes in each of these areas. And one that we are very, very proud about, and I think I see our coordinator in the audience, or our program director in the audience who runs the program, is our nurse residency program, which is in partnership with Vizient. So what is Vizient is that it's a nurse residency program that is nationally acclaimed, that aims to bridge the gap between academia and practice in the areas of leadership, quality outcomes, and the professional role. And what we have at NYP is nationally accredited by the Practice Tradition Accreditation Program through the American Nurses Credentialing Center. And this program really is a platform where each orientee, which is new to the organization, is provided with a precepted orientation and an individualized plan to meet their needs to be able to successfully transition into practice. And over the last, last 11 months, like almost a year now, there's around 900 nurses or more, close to 1,000 now, who has went through the program. And you'll be, again, hearing more about how that comes alive right here at New York Presbyterian. So with that, I will close my message, and I will just share with you how proud we are and honored we are to be part of Nursing Now, from the time that it was started as a Nightingale Challenge to what we know now as Nursing Now, and really grateful of the support of the entire Nursing Now team with Professor Lisa Baylis-Pratt, Hannah Finch, and Andrea Latham. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rhoda. You're too kind, and thank you to Marie too. We had technical problems, so I was about 5 minutes late in getting in, but thank you so much, Hannah, as always, and Andrea, for stepping into the breach. Perfect teamwork to keep the show on the road, but delighted that we're all here now, and what a fantastic opportunity we've got to spend some time together, really learning and listening about the opportunities of leadership development and what it brings to you. But I guess sort of a bit of a personal reflection for me as I'm just sitting here thinking about where we are with the profession and what the challenges are. I don't know how many people from the UK are on the line today, but we're in the moment of considering striking, and we've got all sorts of pressures that you all would be familiar with, I'm sure, in your countries. And so what are the answers? It's really hard to know what they are, and there's no one silver bullet that's going to solve, you know, the challenges that we face. But one of the things that keeps coming back to me more and more is that reward and recognition of the profession. And I had the privilege earlier this week of being in London, a very big teaching hospital, Guy's and St Thomas's, celebrating qualified nursing associates. It's a new role that we've introduced in the UK. And just the fact we've got the chief nursing officer there having the celebration event, there was time taken out of people's busy schedules to come and say, wow, you are an impressive bunch of people. You've trained in unprecedented times. You've faced challenges. And some people talked of the harrowing stories of first day on clinical placement and either being turned away or actually being told to look after people that hadn't got their loved ones with them. And it was pretty likely those individuals were going to die back in the very early days of COVID. So I don't think we can underestimate the power of reward and of recognition and seeing everybody within that leadership lens, and whatever that might be, whether that be individually thinking about your own health and well-being, whether it be being a great team colleague and being kind to each other, or whether it be in doing something much bigger than that, you know, stepping outside of your comfort zone and really blazing a trail. And one of my great honours really of being part of this huge network is there are so many people out there that do all three, and they do all three of those things without overthinking it, but just doing it for the patients, for the profession, for their communities, and indeed for themselves. So thank you so much for this time, and thank you to the superb leadership of people like Marie, Rhoda, Andrea and Hannah. Mustn't forget them too, because they're leading from the front all the time to make things happen. So, I mean, I'm just thinking, given that we've gone a bit off piece with our agenda, but I don't think it matters at all. Maria, what's your top tip to employers to get kind of your boards on side with investing in leadership development of early career nurses, or maybe not so early career nurses? What did you have to do to get people engaged to go for it with the Nightingale Challenge? Because that was the kind of first real go globally at saying you don't have to wait decades to engage in leadership activities. What would your top tip be, Marie?
I'm really sorry, Lisa, but my connection went there and I missed the question. Sorry.
Oh, no worries. I've been there about 10 minutes ago. I was just going to say, Marie, what's your top tip to employers really that are in positions like you, that are trying to convince boards and senior colleagues that this investment will give you masses of return and it's well worth doing? What would you say to those people that are probably struggling to get that level of commitment at senior level?
But what I'd say is, you know, we do need to invest in our junior colleagues because they are the future. And I think that investment will definitely be so worth it, because if we can get leadership skills developed at a very early stage in people's careers, they carry that through, they role model leadership and they impact on others that they're working with. I also would, if I was trying to bring people on board, Lisa, I would definitely get some of our participants to speak to them about their experience. Because to be honest, I think, you know, we're there, we think it's a wonderful program anyway, and we see the benefits and we see our participants, and even from the feedback, I know Anne and Michelle, we'd often see people who were very, very quiet starting off and felt that they maybe have lack of confidence and they wouldn't have put themselves forward, and they just grew during the program with the program participation and with the support of a mentor shadowing their own leads. So to listen to their stories, I think, is wonderful, and it speaks for itself in terms of why would you consider sending your junior staff on this journey. I absolutely think that's evidence, and I think when we hear from our participants.
Oh, that's fantastic, Marie, and I think maybe your phrase, brilliant. I think
so, yeah, that's how I would try and engage people.
Perfect. I think that really speaks to something that the Nursing Now Challenge have been heavily involved in the last sort of year or so, and that's about the power of storytelling. And many of you that follow us closely will see some of our amazing early career nurses that are just amazing at telling stories. But I think you're so right. We can't underestimate the authenticity of hearing it and getting early career nurses to speak to executives, to speak at board meetings, to be part of the communication. I think is like you say, pivotal to creating that commitment. And I guess, Rhoda, that takes me on to you. I mean, oh my goodness, what an inspiration. We just watch you grow and grow and grow, and this concept of excellence is really exploding, and this international excellence, I think it's becoming more than just words, that people are now really thinking about, well, what does international excellent education look like? What does international excellent innovation look like? And I think that's really come from the magnet roadmaps around, you know, getting excellent nurse sensitive indicators and identifying which data that really matters to demonstrate you're doing a brilliant job. But for those people that are sort of daunted about the term excellence, because I can hear many people saying to me, it's all very good talking about excellence, Lisa, but it's really hard just to do the basics sometimes because of all the real challenges. So for those people that are really facing that kind of blocker at the moment, where people are saying, don't raise the bar there, you know, I can't even get the bar to the basic level. What would your sort of top tip be to help people power through that really challenging conversation that it's very real? You know, it is real what's happening to some of our nurses and midwives out in the communities.
Yes, and I echo that, Lisa. I echo every word that you have said, and then I think that same question came to me. You know, you were in London last week. I was actually also in London last week for the Nursing Times workforce event, where every conversation we were in was really how to support the workforce and how do we get there, right? And how do we foster excellence in this climate and environment that we have. And if you ask me, at the heart of the Magnet program, at the heart of nursing excellence is shared governance or professional governance. And how and what is that? You know, what is that? It is creating that platform for our nurses in direct care to be able to be involved in decision making. You know, when we say we have nursing committees, you know, so we have nursing quality and safety committee, we have a nursing retention and recruitment committee, we have a nursing research committee, we have our nurses or clinical nurses involved in those committees and actually leading those committees in partnership with our leaders. And that's how things start to come alive. And you don't even have to think big, you know, like right away. You can even start with, I was at one of the hospitals in London last week. It's a King's College, and I was really recommending that you can even start with having pilot of unit councils. You know, take one or two of your stronger units and see how you can demonstrate that decision making right there at the unit level, empowering nurses. And you will just see things that, well, I think I am naturally an optimistic person, but you will see things start to flourish from there, because when you're trying to problem solve issues from the top, when you don't know what's going on here day to day, you can't really get there, you know, like in the same way as you would when you are involving nurses who are at the bedside.
That's brilliant, Rhoda. Thank you so much. So I think that's about really sharing the decision making, sharing the problem solving, and really finding out actually what you can do to engage people that are closest to the patients. And yeah, I can see that makes perfect sense. So without further ado, now we're going to do what Marie advises, and quite rightly so, and that's to hear the story from Clements. Clements is a registered nurse from Cork University Hospital in Ireland. So Clements, where are you on the screen? I've got so many lovely faces. Are you there?
Hello, I'm
Hi,
here.
Clements. Great.
Hi, how are you?
Okay, super. Thank you so much for joining us and doing this.
Thank you for having me.
So, I mean, it's a pretty kind of over to you question, really, but a little bit about your experience of doing the Nightingale Challenge and how I guess it helped you power through these huge challenges that we face at the moment with delivering high quality health and care to our communities.
So anyway, hello everyone, good evening, and thank you very much for having me and letting me share my experience with the Nightingale Challenge, which was a fantastic program. I have a lot to say about it, so I'll try and keep on track and stay to the point. So in terms of challenges, daily challenges, I suppose in nursing, leadership is a very important skill to have to deal with everyday challenges. And the Nightingale Challenge program actually did help me become a better leader. I know that I am now a good leader, a clinical leader, in relation to junior staff, students, but also within the multidisciplinary team. It has given me the necessary set of skills to become the leader that I am now. So it is the one thing. I suppose I'm more aware of my own strength in general. I've developed a self-awareness that I did not have before. And I am also aware of areas that I need to work on. And I suppose that is important as a leader to be aware of, where you're good and where you need to work a little bit more. And it has, in that sense, given me the opportunity to push the boundaries. Like, for example, today I would have never dreamt before to be at a webinar and share my experience. This is something I would have never even thought about. So it is a good example of what it has brought me. And I suppose engaging with senior nurse leaders through networking and mentoring, it has given me the confidence to reach out to the right people for advice. I have been involved in several projects in work, and I suppose I would have been very much on my own before. I would have thought very much as, instead of being more as a team player, I wouldn't have thought of going towards others and seeking advice from more experienced nurse leaders.
Oh, that's brilliant, Clements. That's fantastic. And I think don't underestimate being on a webinar. I always feel nervous, and and that's with or without IT glitches. So these are big wins, aren't they? And big sort of confidence boosters. And I really like that bit around becoming self-aware of what you want to do more and what you're really good at, because I think we don't often talk about what we're good at. And I think that's another important thing, bringing confidence and being clear at where your strengths at is another positive element. I guess the other bit for me, Clements, I wonder, did you feel part of something bigger? Because I certainly do with this whole work, because it's global and because you hear from different people. Did you have a sense that you were part of something bigger, as well as, developing your leadership abilities and progressing, as a fantastic registered nurse?
Oh, most definitely. Like, as a staff nurse on a ward, I feel I was very much in my own bubble before I started the course. You're not really aware of what's outside of the hospital, what's outside of the ward. You're very much focused on your duties, and it's like a whole world out there that you're not really aware of until you get out there and meet people and network. Networking was another area of the course of the program that I would have not really been familiar with. It was very new to me, and I now see the potential that you can gain from more senior experienced nurse leaders, and from everything that they have achieved. They have so much to offer and to bring to more junior staff like myself. And so it's a whole different world out there that
fantastic. Brilliant, Clements. Well, I mean, I can tell you can talk for a long time, so it means you've had a great time and you're learning lots. And I wish we could hear more, but I think we probably need to go to New York now. But Clements, thank you so much, and stay with us and keep connected and keep championing what you're doing. And you know, the next people that follow in your footsteps, it's going to be so great for them to hear what you've been doing. And again, in this awful time that we're facing, you know, the uncertainty we've all faced over the last 2 to 3 years, it's unprecedented. And to be able to do these things as well as that is just phenomenal. So Clements, thanks so very much for being so authentic with us. And it's super to hear how far you've come and what you've grown. So we now move over to Stephanie O'Neill. She's a clinical nurse manager. So brilliant to have a clinical nurse manager here, because it's you can make or break early career nurses' jobs and their opportunities. So Stephanie, why don't you tell us a bit about what you've been up to, and I guess how the leadership program has supported you, and the links with Magnet really in relation to the well-being of nurses.
Thank you so much, Lisa. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all. First and foremost, thank you, Dr. Rhoda Radula and Nursing Now, for reaching out to me. To be able to present today, I'm truly honored. Hope I can continue this partnership with Nursing Now, just as my dear colleague, Amy Staley, has made such an incredible difference and impact globally in her advocacy for vaccination, whom I know you all know very well already. Well, I will start from the very beginning, as Julie Andrews sings from The Sound of Music. It's a very good place to start. Because of our fostered magnet culture here at New York Presbyterian, the nurse residency program truly helped me develop not only as a clinical nurse leader, but also as a person. Being a nurse, as we all know, is totally nerve-wracking at first. My main fear was really making a mistake that would hurt someone and end my passion that I worked so hard to not only change from an engineer, but to even achieve the degree. Let's be honest, nursing school is hard. So now New York Presbyterian Weill Cornell has this program to help you transition from beginner nurse to novice, and further resources from our magnet culture to novice to expert. The program teaches you about time management, ethics, resiliency, well-being, professional development, further education, quality improvement, research, EBP, change in patient condition, and of course, medication and administration safety. All these sessions, we journaled and created an EBP project, and then we graduated. I was honored to be picked to speak to my fellow graduates in the cohort and receive the Rising Star Award in the hospital. I continue this partnership to actually become an expert context speaker in research, change in patient condition and well-being, now a transition to practice coach, giving back to a program that once helped me, and mentoring in our shared governance committees. This let me have the opportunity to also join our medical school and be an expert nurse panelist with the panel of attending physicians. It was an experience I will never forget. Now, the Chief Nurse Fellow Program, COVID did not even stop us. My leadership skills were truly nurtured and came from this program. My project took the fancy of our CNO and Vice President, Dr. Roseanne Razzo, living legend and Chief Editor of Nursing Management. My project was an extension from my new grad project and taking it to the next level to really implement in the hospital. It was implementing a team, which is together every alarm matters. First to now, actually getting in a middleware to reduce our alarm fatigue. Our alarms are here to alert us to safety and should not cause harm to patients. We worked with our NICU. One of the nurses was actually my NICU nurse many moons ago, don't want to age myself here, and several interdisciplinary teams, IT, nursing informatics across the campus. We also had didactic courses on QI, research, leadership, and publication. It was an experience of a lifetime. I got to shadow our CNO for days, and we kept our mentorship still to this day. To now an IRB approved study to stop our technology overload, nurses' perceptions of alerts. The project has truly taken all forms. The Chief Nurse Fellowship taught me how to lead a project, implement, and really try to make an impact to this global issue of alarm and alert fatigue through exemplifying our magnet culture and resiliency, even in our world pandemic. I started chairing our EVP and research committee called the NERDS, which stands for Nursing and Evidence-Based Practice and Research Driving Science, chairing our Healthy Nurse and Unit Practice Councils in our daily operations. Also became a nurse board representative where I get to meet monthly with senior leadership of the enterprise. The experience truly opened doors to me to what nursing leadership really means, taking that seat at the table. Outcomes from the nurse residency program and chief nurse fellow is literally certification in med surg and transplant, getting my master's in leadership, and 3 promotions back to back. These programs These programs really made me the nurse I am today, and now the nurse leader. My advice to those just starting their careers in nursing is that nursing is the future of medicine. Never stop asking questions and never say no to an opportunity, and be confident about 2 years experience. It makes you an expert in a field, and take that seat at the table. Do not wait for someone to call you to order. Last but not least, you do not need a title to be a nurse leader. Use your nursing voice always. I want to end with, how does Magnet support the well-being of nursing? I should say, how does it not support the well-being? And in short, you wouldn't hear a response. As a Magnet hospital and as part of the commitment to excellence, New York Presbyterian, Weill Cornell, is always focused on the well-being of nurses. Our magnet culture and fearless leadership here is what got us through surviving this pandemic to where we are now thriving. It is a true culture of nursing excellence, responsibility, collaboration, advocacy, education, EVP, QI, and especially a labor of love, a true vocation. One example that brings to mind, as we got trained and opened more ICU beds, we also had a running journal of our documented experience, and I know one day we will share with the world. We had healthy nurse initiatives with our well-being coaches at NYPB Healthy, self-care selfies, spread to a contest for the last 3 running, and monthly initiatives spread throughout Weill Cornell, giving nursing excellence awards and still presenting their EVP research in a virtual platform. And as you know, as Lisa said, recognition always goes a long way. Our nurses are truly enculturating with living that self-care is not selfish and changing our world daily and the lives of their patients. I'm here today with RN on my chest and the love of nursing on my sleeve. So thank you to Dr. Rhoda Radula for always tapping me on the shoulder, my leadership mentors, colleagues, family, friends, new friends around the world, and the incredible hospital I work at that gives us such a great support to be here today. Thanks for listening.
Fantastic. My goodness. I need a boost of that enthusiasm at least twice a day. I think we all need a Stephanie twice a day to pop up on our screens.
I'm so sorry.
No,
want to get it all in.
I think it's so important to have, this passion, this high energy, and within all of that, though, there are some real nuggets of actually what you do and how you do it and who you connect with and how you keep going. So, Stephanie, thank you so much for that amazing burst of passion and, all of those golden nuggets. And the beauty is we record these webinars so people can listen to it again and again and think, well, what does that mean to me? If I don't have that sort of environment around me, what bits can I take from it in order to make me be the best I can? So we're now going to move over to Mexico. It's so great to be able to come from different parts of the world like this. And Andres, I can see you on the screen. So I think it's Amy. Sorry, Amy, where are you? I thought Amy, there she is. Yeah, we've got Andres as well. I've got my A's mixed up here. Amy, it's going to be over to you now from Mexico, and you have recently completed a program, a Nursing Now Challenge program with one of our partners, which is Sigma Theta Tau. So tell us a little bit about your experiences. And I mean, this is a very different program to what we've heard, because this is quite structured again with an organization that's hugely passionate about leadership. So Amy, I'll shut up and over to you. Welcome.
Thank you, of course. So first of all, I would like to thank the Nursing Now Challenge for the opportunity to speak today. And of course, Sigma Theta Tau and my chapter, which is Tau Alpha, based in Monterrey, Nuevo León, in Mexico. So I'm a part of the Nursing Now Challenge cohort 3. In my experience, it has been awesome. We had different sessions over the months. There has been 11 to this day. And there's always 2 sessions. There's one in the morning and another one in the evening. So this is great because, you know, most of the people who are taking this work. So if you don't have the chance to connect to one, you can connect to the other. Also, in case you're unavailable to attend, or if you just want to rewatch, you can always sign in the platform and just simply access the recordings, which I believe that it's awesome. The quality of the sessions has been great. They're given by extraordinary nurses, most of them based in the US. And there has been a lot of people truly involved with Sigma, maybe some presidents of different chapters, Elizabeth Madigan, who is the CEO, and lots of others. And well, most of the topics have been about leadership, mentorship, partnering with nurse leaders, engaging with professional organizations, and other very interesting topics such as Sigma's engagement with the SDGs and the work they play in the UN. So I have to agree a lot with Clements and Stephanie, because this really opens up your eyes for a lot of opportunities, and it gives you a very different perspective. As a recent graduate nurse, you just, I don't think you're able to see all the doors that are actually open for you. And this is just great. Also, the networking has been great. I've had the chance to connect with some of the other people who are also part of this cohort, and they're all around the globe. So it's really nice to also hear from them, from their experiences, their perspective, how nursing is going around their countries, their health systems. And this has been truly, truly enriching. And it just, I don't know, I'm truly grateful for this opportunity, because it just has been great. Also, as Stephanie said, well, it works a bit different because it's not a hospital, but it has opened many doors for me.
Yeah.
I'm currently working with my mentor on a chapter of a book who Nancy Rollins, who is the president of, I'm not sure which chapter of Sigma, invited us to just write a chapter about our mentorship relation. And I believe that it has been an amazing opportunity. And also, I didn't think of myself as a mentor until I started this program. You know, as a recent graduate nurse, you just don't think that you can be someone's mentor. And this program has opened my eyes that I can also be a mentor to other people. And just to share all my new experiences, my knowledge, especially with maybe nursing students, nursing interns, etc. So it has been truly,
fantastic.
Truly
Brilliant, Amy, and how wonderful that you've realised, yeah, I absolutely can be a mentor. And I think often great leaders make great mentors. I kind of think the attributes sort of go hand in hand. But that's brilliant to hear that. And I really like the way the programme enabled you more than one opportunity to kind of go into it. And I think one of the maybe more positive things about COVID is this need for flexible blended learning and the realisation that we do need 24/7 education. And that's something I think that, you know, we're all working at. And of course, when you work globally, you have to think that way because of the different timelines that we're all on. But Amy, you spoke incredibly articulate and you did yourself proud and more. So thank you for joining us and sharing your story. And we look forward to following whatever comes next for you. But I'm sure you're in for lots of fantastic opportunities and will make a huge difference. So thank you. So we're going to go back to New York now to hear from Natalia Leone, who's a staff nurse from the New York Presbyterian Winchester Hospital. So where are you, Natalia, on the screen? There she is.
Hello,
hi, with her face mask on, being very good.
Yes, sorry about the mask. I'm actually working today, so I just
bless you.
the floor for a little bit.
Talk about commitment. Hey, over to you then, Natalia. I mean, what do you want to tell us? You've heard, you know, the theme today is really getting us inspired and telling us what you've been up to with your leadership journey. So what would you like to share with us? What difference have you seen happen because of you're engaged in this leadership work?
So I'm actually what we like to call a baby nurse. I became a nurse a year and 4 months ago. Officially, I was hired, which meant that I went through nursing school during COVID. And that meant that my clinicals were not exactly what normal clinicals were for anyone before me. Our clinicals were either shut down or they were online, which reality is you can only watch something so many times or read about it so many times. If you don't do it, it's so much harder to learn it. And then in addition to that, I was hired directly into the ER here at NYP Westchester, which I was the first person to be given that opportunity in a very long time because of the New York State laws. And what that means is I was a new nurse during COVID, brand new out of school, barely with any clinicals, and then I panicked. I panicked because it was a dream job that I wanted forever. I worked in the ER before then as in the administrative role. And when I got hired, I actually found out that we had a residency program, which I was so lucky to work for an organization that had that. And what that basically meant is for a year, we had meetings every month or every other month, depending on how workflow was going and the topics that we were covering. And you were basically put into a room with every other new nurse that was hired within the specific couple of months. And we all got to just be honest about what was going on and where we needed support and the things that we felt were overwhelming and how to address conflicts, whether it was conflicts with patients or conflicts with ourselves or conflicts with being able to address physicians and knowing how to ask for help. In addition to that, the nurse residency program here, it is certified by Vizient, so they do have a curriculum. And what it basically teaches you to do is it teaches you to be a leader and it teaches you to feel confident in the steps that you have to take in order to be a good nurse and to be a good clinical leader. Because you are these patients' advocates. The doctors won't see them 24 hours a day, but you will. And it's your responsibility to be able to provide the best care that they can get. In addition to that, part of the residency program is that we do a research project. And I'm very fortunate that my research project has kind of also taken off. Myself and another new graduate nurse on a different floor are working on a handoff project from the ED to inpatient nursing, which is something that across the globe has been kind of difficult on how to do handoffs and more of a standardized process for everyone. We've started our initial phase of doing a pre-survey. We have the intervention currently created. We're just waiting to work with nursing IT in order to get that rolled out. And then we will be hopefully piloting it here on 3 of our floors and then moving it bigger into the corporation.
Wow, fantastic. Well, considering you call yourself a baby nurse, there's no baby steps around what you're doing. They are gigantic, massive strides, but congratulations, Natalia. And it's just brilliant. I mean, I do think, and I've got students at my university, I just think the training that you've had to training the times of the last 3 years, you know, to come out the other end and survive it. I'm sure will really put you steps ahead in many ways. But I think we mustn't forget that at some stage, hopefully, you will return to more normal nursing, if there is such a thing anymore. But Natalia, thank you so much for sharing your wonderful story, and whatever you do, keep going.
Thank you so much.
No, it's a pleasure. So we're now going to go to Andres. Andres, yeah, you're one of our early career nurses, and you're from Barcelona. And one of my role models and inspiration is Adela, who is the Chief Nursing Officer, I understand there, a very senior member of staff that's been such a champion to Nursing Now, the Nightingale Challenge, and continues to support us. So, you know, you're in good hands, Andres, I know, but over to you, and tell us about what you've been doing in relation to your leadership journey so far.
Well, so first of all, I would like to thank Nursing Now, Hannah, Andrea, and Lisa for this opportunity. And I must say that since I joined the Nursing Now, thanks to the recommendations of some teachers, I wouldn't have imagined how much my perspectives of the future would have changed so much since then. So as I may or the others have said, this helps us to open our eyes up. First of all, I would like to start with a comment with that I think was Jill White in a webinar in the summer some weeks ago, said to us, she said, this campaign is a health campaign through nursing, but not explicitly a nursing campaign. And I think that that's one of the most powerful things that one can say to the other people, because we are putting the patients in the center of our actions. And I'm saying this because when we talk about that, about the Nursing Now in the hospital or in hospitals or in the universities, we should remember that we are a means, not the end in itself. So the core of our actions must have the patients inside them. So as I was explaining, I joined the Nursing Now like some months ago, and in some way, Nursing Now has helped me a lot to maximize the ideas that I had as a student, and has helped me to go beyond, to push my limits. And when I try to explain to the rest of my colleagues, to my friends, or to other students about the Nursing Now, I think that what I like the most about the Nursing Now is that has helped me to think in a way that a student don't used to think. And that's one of the challenges that we have in the universities, I would say, that we have to transmit the idea that the students should change their mindsets when they are in the university. They could grow up a lot more and develop their original ideas, the projects that they want to develop, but they don't know how to do it. And Nursing Now Challenge or Sigma Theta Tau, with their projects and with their opportunities, the way they facilitate all the projects and the development of the ideas, they are helping us to develop all those things, all those ideas that we have in our minds and we don't know really how to do it. So Nursing Now or other projects are helping us to know these challenges, to face the challenges in an easier way before that we didn't know. And we need to help them look at these themes with other eyes. So for example, when I talk to my friends or to other students about the Nursing Now, I try to transmit this idea that they have to change their mindsets in the university. They have a lot of opportunities with their teachers, with other friends, with the projects that in the university do, and they are, that was my case before joining Nursing Now or joining other projects. Before that, I was doing my university years. I was doing the nursing degree, and the most important thing was the exam, and that's like a basic thing. So we should change our mindset. We should open our eyes and push our limits. That's for sure. So during my last year student course, I am trying to contact some universities to present to them what the Nursing Now Challenge is about, specifically to tell the students with my own personal experience the advantages that they have and the new vision they will acquire if they change their mindsets, if in the same way I have changed mine, and if they participate with other students and early career nurses and midwives around the world. As I said before, I'm really, really grateful to the Nursing Now Challenge for everything it's doing, and personally, I am grateful for how they are facilitating a lot the involvement of the challengers and the participants. And I think that the more participation is facilitated, the more attractive it will be. And I have to say this again, I'm really grateful to Andrea and Hannah that they are facilitating us a lot these opportunities. So many thanks for that.
Brilliant, Andres. Well, thank you to you. It's a real pleasure, and I think the thing that's quite stark for me is your English language is so eloquent. You know, I couldn't speak Spanish like you've just spoken English, and one of the things that I think is fascinating is how, you know, you might be coming to these webinars and engaging with different people where language is something that you've got to take on and challenge. So I'm absolutely, you know, sure that these experiences will enrich your career. But thank you for doing it with us and being part of the journey, because it's nothing without you. You know, the Nursing Now Challenge belongs to us all. It doesn't belong to no one, it belongs to everybody. And it's the commitment of people, amazing, you know, like leaders like Maria and, you know, Rhoda and Adela and all of the people that are pushing you up and giving you that opportunity. So thank you, Andres. And, you know, I'm so proud of all that you're doing, and the fact that you can speak to us, you know, when you live in Spain and your first language, no doubt, is Spanish, but you wouldn't know it from how you speak. So thank you very much. And last but absolutely not least is our fantastic colleague from Ghana, and Ghana has been really famous to us because it keeps winning the Global Solutions Initiative. So we've had two groups of people win the Solution Initiative from Ghana. So we're learning more and more about Ghana all the time. And Senkira, that's with us now, he's a senior nursing officer in West Municipal Hospital in Ghana. And he's been sort of engaging with us in this really interesting health action training course that's really about storytelling, but thinking about, you know, how do you speak and think and take deep breaths and really apply yourself to tell the story in a powerful way. So Senkira, thank you for joining us from Ghana. I hope the sun is shining brightly for you there. It's pitch black dark here in the UK. We're really looking forward to hearing from you. So I guess for us with this conversation, it'd be great to hear, Senkira, about the health action training and whether you'd recommend it and what it's done for you as a leader in Ghana. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. I got to know about the health action training in 2021 after knowing that it's being sponsored by the Nursing Now Challenge. So I enrolled in February this year, and it's a 12 weeks intensive course. Yeah, it's very intensive, and you have to be committed to it. And this health action training is all about, it draws techniques from performing arts, actor training, and applied drama to improve interpersonal communication skills in challenging situations. So it's not only for nurses. In my cohort, we have professional backgrounds such as performing arts students and drama professionals. So this and it's also involved group plays and simulation, which introduce us to our specific field. So at the end of the workshop, I was able to gain communication skills such as breaking bad communication skills such as addressing complaints, critical incident, and risk management. And also I learned about person-centered practice such as breaking bad news and relation management and effective communication, which is very important in my field. As in my work, I do a lot of talking, counsel, so effective communication and relation management was very effective for me. And I also learned about self-care, personal resilience, and peer support. This health action training also include learning something about person-centered practice approach, whereby the individual is treated as someone with her own characteristics, values, beliefs, and attitude. So as a nurse, when you're caring for your patient, you have to take all this into consideration, the value and belief attitude of the patient. We also learn about sympathetic presence, sympathetic. So as a nurse, how do you make yourself available? So this sympathetic presence is paying attention to how you as a nurse feel about your patient without trying to assume or share his or emotion or physical state. And one very effective module that I learned, which was effective in my setting, was the learning about the three module of breaking bad news. That is the Spike module, the Buster, and the Eve. So I focused, my attention was on the Spike module because it was very effective and practical in my situation, whereby it involves 6 steps: setting up the interview, assessing the patient perception, obtaining patient invitation, giving knowledge and information to the patient, addressing the patient emotions with empathetic responses, and also strategy and summary. Yeah, so this is what I can share with you.
Fantastic. Well, thank you. And thank you for taking part in it. I mean, we partnered with Health Action Training because we wanted something that focused upon the early career nurses and thinking about, you know, how do you use your body? How do you communicate effectively? How do you prepare yourself for difficult days and difficult experiences? And I think, you know, breaking bad news, many of us have had to do it, if not all of us, but I think many of us have received bad news. And I think also, you know, when it's done well and you know when it's absolutely not done well. And that can stick with you for many, many years. So it's clearly invaluable, the difference that courses and training like that can make and what it can bring to your leadership experience. So we've actually run out of time, but we've, I think, had a wonderful hour in spite of the IT glitches that some of us have faced. I've been truly energized, inspired, and just feel so proud to be part of this network and part of the nursing and midwifery world. So thank you so much for taking the time. Thank you to our speakers, to our leaders, to everybody that partakes in this activity. And thank you to our wonderful Andrea and Hannah, who make all of this possible for us. I know we all think a lot of them and realise the effort that goes into making these things happen. So many thanks to you all. Lots of love and kindness. Have a wonderful rest of the day and look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye-bye, everybody. Take great care. Thank you.